Hello everyone, here Kelvin Sanchez from Venezuela, FIDE Master, and today I will be analyzing for you the second game in the tie breaks in the semi-final round between Ding Lire against Yu Yangyi, um, where the white won in the game with several complications, but the black had specific lines where the games could be uh, very complicated. And well, go to start. C4, E5. Okay, this is an English opening. Knight C3, Bishop B4, Knight D5, A5. So I don't know, but this was the similar position that Iturrizaga player in the first round with the white pieces against Baskarana Divan. Okay, in that game, the white had complicated uh, solutions, no, in the middle games. But in this occasion, go to check it as Dean Liren used an interesting variation to try get possible advantage. So knight f3, d6, protecting the pawn on e4. This is an easy way. A3, bishop on c5, and e3. Well, the main idea with the e3 is to play via center, okay, with the pawn on d4. So knight f6 and d4. Another possibility present instead d4 is to go knight take on f6, okay, exposing the queen immediately. And when the queen is taking here, now d4, it's working against the center, no? So well, instead the black can simple take, and when the bishop is backing on a7, now the white can simple continue to develop in two ways, no? One option is bishop g5, attacking against the queen on f6, the queen exposed right now. And the other possibility will be to go with the bishop on e2, protecting the knight, developing the bishop, preparing the short castle to keep in a safe position for the white king, no? It will be an easy option to finish the develop. Bishop g4, bishop e3, protecting d4, knight c6, increasing the preserves via the d4 pawn, and after the short castle. And short castle for black, simple c5 is blocking the black diagonal, okay? So, and in this way, the white will be using the concentration in the game to play on queen side, okay, to attack against the pawn on b7 in the future. For example, if take, rook d8, working against the d file, and simple the queen can go on b3, okay, protecting the king side immediately in the third file, preparing to move the rook on the center, the rook a on d1, and attacking in the same time the pawn on the b7 square. It will be an interesting option, no? So then, instead that, the white prefer to use the theoretical move d4, take on d5, take on d5. Another option is to capture on c5, but the black doesn't have problem here. Okay, simple back the knight on f6, take on d6, take on d6. And well, the black can have, during several times, the weak pressing on the d6, but this is not sufficient to give advantage for white, no? So because all the time he can simple pushing the pawn on this on d5, knight c6 develop, bishop e6, and well, this variation is not a big problem for black pieces. Okay, we can establish that it can be an equals position, no? Bishop e2, short castle, and knight c6, and b3 may be planning to develop the bishop on the b2. It will be an interesting idea, avoiding that this pawn is moving on e4, because if the pawn move, the diagonal will be open very well for white, no? This is not a problem. C takes d5, e takes d4, takes on d4, obvious. This double, and after bishop e6, this double pawn on d file can be considered a weakness, okay? But which will be the compensation for both pawns? They use the rook in the open files, okay? In the open file on E and in the semi-open file on C, okay? So moving planning, for example, the rook on C1, the rook on A1 and after the short castle for black, and it will be interesting condition for white, no? But well, bishop G5, and f6. Another possibility will be bishop on b5, okay? Interesting option to develop the bishop with check. And when bishop d7, bishop on d3, and now this bishop is avoiding the good develop for the knight. Interesting option used, for example, in the Catalan system with the variation with bishop on b4 check. But here, after check castle for both, bishop g4 is pinning the knight, h3, and if the bishop is taken, queen take, and this pawn is not hanging, because when the bishop is taking here on d4, queen e4, and queen e4 is attacking h7 and is capturing the bishop. By this pawn is safe. And if the bishop go back, simple g4 is an strange variation, but total possible, because when the bishop is moving on g6, simple bishop on g5 is preparing the generate the double pawn on the king side for black, and the white all the time can simple move the king on g2 and planning to break in the position after h5, and the rook will be moving on h1. Remember that it will be the tactical condition, okay, that we can use. It's not, I cannot telling you that it's the best or not, only it's different idea, no? But well, bishop g5, f6, bishop to e3. Now this pawn on f6 is not the best position, but it's not a problem. Short castle, bishop d3, and f5 blocking immediately this diagonal for the bishop, no? So queen c2, simple, knight d7. Instead knight d7, h6 will be an interesting condition, okay? Avoiding the lost the pawn on the h7, and after h3 queen f6, and here g3. It's an interesting move to guarantee the pawn the position on f4 for our bishop, no? So because if he goes, for example, long castle, the black can simply use f4 and the pawn on d4 will be a problem in the future. And after g3, knight d7, try finish the develop, long castle, queen f7, and simple g4, opening the diagonal, okay, to attack against the white weakness squares on king side, no? Take, knight g4, amazing sacrifice, and queen on e7 directly. If it's obvious that this knight cannot be taken because simple bishop h7, pawn take on g4, and the intermediate move with the rook on the h file is winning for white. So then queen e7, bishop h7, this move, and here bishop g8 is a mistake because knight f6 will be protecting the mate on the h7, and the knight will be attacking against the bishop on g8. And instead that, for example, h take on g4, now it's opening the line for the rook. This bishop will be activated to attack via h6, and this bishop can simple back on d3, okay, to attack against the white weakness square. It won't be a complicated position. Knight f6, bishop g6, bishop take g4, and rook de1. Planning attacking the queen, the knight is planning to arrive on e6, the bishop is planning to be sacrificed on h6, and the rook with the h1 square, it's amazing to attack against the king side, no? So it will be possibilities present in this game to try search activate possibilities to play for both players, no? Knight d7, take on f5, knight f6, bishop d3 back, h6. Obviously, h6 is not bad move, okay, because it's avoiding the bishop g5 or knight g5, the use of the g5 square. But the problem is that right now it's easy to recognize that these white squares will be considered a weakness. And then it's obvious that Dean Liren is an elite player, okay, top player in the world, and he will try to concentrate all the attack in these squares, okay? So by this, maybe h6 is a strange move, necessary, but it's strange. So knight h4, okay, planning to use the white squares directly. Knight takes d5 and bishop h7, and simple king h8. If king f7 is bad because the queen can simple inside and via g6 and winning the pawn on g7 and destroying the position for the black king. This is easy. King h8, knight g6, king take h7, knight take f8, check. Okay, it's double check. By this, he will be forced to move the king. And when the king is moving knight g6 and the knight is exiting, okay? So obviously, white is exchanging the good bishop against the rook. And we can establish it. This is good. But the black signs here activated the pieces. So queen f6, queen e4, planning to arrive on the e8 square with initiative against the black king, and bishop e6 and simple short castle establish a safe position for the king. Okay, so rook e8 is planning to move simple the bishop on f7 to winning the knight. Knight h4, bishop f7, and queen g4. Okay, keeping the queen, protecting the white squares. Because remember that when we don't have the bishop, we can use the queen or the pawn structure to support the weakness in that color. And now h5, interesting idea. Knight take e3 doesn't work because when the pawn is taken, the rook will be attacking the queen, winning a time, and the rook can be activated via f3. And the knight can use the f5 square too. So well, h5, queen g3, and now rook e4 is planning rook g4 and is attacking in the same time with the queen against the knight on h4. By this, it will be interesting condition for black player to generate special initiative in the game, no? Bishop to g5, attacking against the queen. Other ideas, knight f3 will be a little better. Rook g4, queen h3, and well, the queen is outside of the game. But in this moment, the main idea for black, for white, will be, for example, I don't know, maybe move the knight here on d2 and activate the queen via f3. One possible idea. Bishop g5, queen e6. But here, the black has this amazing move, okay? Queen captures on the d4. If the white move here on d4, if the black played it here on d4 directly, so it will be interesting compensation for black, because in this moment, the black will have 4 pawns against 2 pawns on queen side. By this, we can consider that the compensation will be the majority attack against the queen side for black, okay? Against the rook, against the white bishop. So then the black is winning an important pawn to generate initiative against the queen side, and is activating all the pieces in that sectors, no? And in the same time, the black is planning to go rook g4 and rook take on h4 or take on g5. By this, the white needs to be pending about this variation, no? It will be a complicated line to generate initiative with the with the um, with the black pieces, no? Knight f3, queen captures on b2, and rook b1. An interesting solution for white player will be to sacrifice the rook on b6, destroying the bishop pairs in favor of black. And well, he will try to use the rook in the 7 file, and in this way, the white is generating an interesting counterattack in this position, no? Against the 7 file in combination with the bishop. I don't know, maybe bishop f6, maybe attacking against g7 with the queen, and obvious h3, preventing the rook g4 as a possible defense. So this is a complicated game for both players, no? So queen e6, h3, obvious, avoiding the rook g4, bishop takes d4, knight f3, bishop take b2, and rook b1. Okay, and here rook e2 supporting this bishop on the b2 square. The idea is not capture against the pawn on a3, because if the bishop take on a3, the rook will be activated on the 7 file after rook take b7, planning rook b8, or constant attack against the c7 pawn. By this, the majority pawn structure for black in this position will have a problem in the future. So rook e2, now bishop d2, it's attacking immediately this option on the a5 and keeping the attack against the b2 bishop. And bishop d2. Other idea is bishop c1, but bishop c1 is protecting a3 in the same time, and bishop on e5 for black. Obvious, the black cannot accept it because the white can simply go rook f take, and both rooks will be attacking against the queen side. Okay, it will be an amazing option. But when the bishop is back on e5, knight take e5, queen captures on e5, take on e5, rook take on e5, and rook take on b7. And in this way, the attack against this couple weakness will be present with the rook behind the pawn. And the advantage for white with the material rook against the knight, it will be easy to winning in this position. Okay, the advantage is very, very clear. So then bishop d2, queen f6, protecting b2. and bishop take a5. Knight f4 to try generate combinations against the king side. Other is b6 attacking, and after rook fe1, well, the white is forcing the exchange of the pieces, okay? And we need to be pending about the simplification here, because the rook present in favor of white will be very, very good condition to play in the end game, okay? So knight f4, bishop take f7, and simple rook c2 is winning an extra time. It's amazing, but right now the black is getting in this position the option to generate counterattack. So then and in the same time, this knight is attacking via e2. Okay, it's attacking against the queen and it's attacking against the king. By this option needs to be considered with the white pieces. He goes king h2 and now h4. h4 was, I feel, a horrible move. Okay, so the interesting condition is to sacrifice this knight. Why this knight? Because if this rook is taking here, okay, on the c7 square, this, so right now the problem will be that the white can simple close, can simple close, no, sacrifice the rook. Okay, rook take b2, and when the queen is taking here, simple queen captures on f4, and the initiative in the endgame will be present between the queen and the knight against the bishop and the queen. Okay, and obviously weak present on the d6 will be an interesting idea to attack, and the rook activated in the e file will be other idea in favor of the white pieces. It's not sufficient for win, okay, this is obvious, but it's interesting, and we know the ability of Dean Liren, okay, to play in the equals position to find the perfect conditions to increasing the advantage, okay, the minimum advantage. So well, h4, and now queen capture, queen g5 was the amazing move, the good move, total good move. Because if queen take on h4, they take, and bishop on e5, it's an intermediate move, attacking against the king, and playing knight g6, attacking against the knight on f3. And in the same time, in h4, and in the same time, the rook will be attacking against the bishop on c7, no? So it will be a complicated position, bishop a5 saving, this move check, and after f4, knight take on f4. And here, it's amazing, but the initiative with the black pieces against g2, playing g5 against h2 is giving initiative for the black player against the white king, no? So instead that, the white considers simple to go with the queen on g5. Queen on g5 is attacking against f6, and obviously at the same time is attacking via f4, and is creating a tactical condition. Rook take f7, and now rook take b2. So other idea is captures on g5 and bishop f5. It's plenty, I don't know, maybe knight d5 to winning the bishop, or simple knight e6 to winning the knight with the intermediate check against the white king. Knight take f7, king captures on f7, and rook take on b7, and it will be an interesting condition to play with the white pieces, okay? Saving the bishop, attacking the king, simplifying the position, and generating initiative in the end game. This will be good for white, no? So take on c7, take on b2, queen captures on g5. If captures on b2, simple queen d8 is amazing move, because he's winning the rook on the c7. So check it as this game was uh, um, complicated with the tactical condition, no, in favor of the white pieces. So then queen g5, knight g5, bishop c4, rook e1, playing the mate on e8, g6, rook e4, attacking both pieces in the same time, knight d3, simple rook c2, attacking against the bishop, rook c5, take, and simple rook e7. Perfect move, okay? It's blocking the king fierce because this pawn is lost, and in the same time we are attacking against mate, okay, in this position. So simple knight c5 avoiding the mate, and after rook take h4 it's inciting in the 7 file with both pieces, and in this way the black king will be total close in the 8th file, and this condition is not possible to save against this special grandmaster. Okay, so rook f5, simple f3, avoiding to lose the pawn, but this game was total loss. Okay, by this the black simple resigning the game, and with this amazing position, then Liren won the place the place, yeah, to uh, to play tomorrow against the tomorrow, yeah, I think it's the next round tomorrow against the Rajabot Tamer. Okay, so well, this position is very lost. The white is total winning, include if sacrifice the rook against the knight and pawn, and the condition will be perfect for white. So, well, everyone, I hope that this game was very well for you, okay? And you can learn about all the possible analysis and all the possible variations present in the game. And, well, continue I will be continue charging more videos in the next days. Okay, thank you very much. If you have question, just give me the write the question here in the video, and I will be happy to answer you and explaining you all your possible questions. Okay, thank you very much for all. Bye bye.